Manic Q&A. What is your name?
My name's Gary Numan.
What is your first musical memory?
I remember watching Hank Marvin in the Shadows on TV with my mum and dad when I was really little. It was my mum and dad were watching it. I was just happened to be there. But I was fascinated by the fact that the guitar was electric and it had dials and switches. And so I got interested in music as a geeky anorak. You know, it wasn't even music really. I just loved the fact that the guitar, you plugged it in and that felt cool to me.
What was the first record you bought?
I bought an album by a man called Hank Williams Jr. I can't remember what it was called, probably Greatest Hits or something like that. But it was the first time I'd ever been given pocket money by my mum and dad to go out and buy whatever I wanted. And I bought this album for my mum. So she cried because she thought, oh, that was lovely. And I think I got an increase in pocket money, so everyone won.
Have you still got it? And do you still like it?
No, I haven't got it. My mum had it. I think my mum treasured it. My mum died last year, unfortunately, but I'd imagine my dad still has it in a box somewhere buried away.
What was the first gig you attended as a member of the audience?
I went to see a band called Nazareth at the Rainbow in Finsbury Park, but the support band was called Silverhead, so the first band I actually saw was Silverhead. I became a massive fan. I went out and bought the album. Michael DeBar was a singer who went on to become a singer with Power Station and other things, who started following me on Twitter a few weeks ago. I was so proud of that. That was the coolest thing ever. Who else did it? Nigel Harrison, who ended up being in Blondie. He was in this band. Brilliant band. So I actually come away from that a big fan of Silverhead, and I don't remember much about Nazareth, I'm afraid.
Have you ever screamed or cried at a gig?
I don't remember ever screaming at a gig. Although it's possible, but when I was younger, but I don't think so. But I have cried, but only at my own. I've got a song called "A Prayer for the Unborn" about our first baby who died, unfortunately, and I wrote a song about it, and I still can't get through that easily. It's a long, long time ago now, but it still bothers you. You know, it still hurts actually. So yeah, I still cry fairly regularly at gigs, I'm afraid.
What is the most ridiculous item of clothing you have ever donned?
Oh God, that's a long list. The most ridiculous probably was my first ever single cover. I was wearing this silvery spaceman-y sort of looking outfit, which I think was made out of the stuff they clad boilers with, and it was just ridiculous, and it looked really stupid, and it was really hot and really inappropriate, and it was just a childish way of trying to look futuristic, and it was wrong on every level.
If you could go back in time and prevent one band in particular from forming, who would it be and why? And don't give me any of that, oh, I wouldn't like to say which band should never have existed nonsense. Just give me a bloody name.
It would be Ultravox, the original Ultravox with John Fox, because I really loved them, and they were doing what I was doing electronically, but they did it first, and they were better than I was. So yeah, if I could stop them from forming, that would be useful for my career.
Have you ever had a fight on stage? And if so, with whom and who won?
I've never had a real fight. Me and Steve, the guitar player, he's been with me forever, we used to sort of pretend to fight. Once in a while, he would push me out the way and I'd push him back, and we'd end up on the floor. And we did it just to see what the audience would do. It made it look really real. You know, I got blood a few times by accident, but you know, but he's 6'4", made of muscle. It's pretty ridiculous really when you look at two of us together. But yeah, we used to do that every night for a couple of tours actually.
If you could be a fly on the wall in any band's dressing room, which band would it be and why?
Be my band. I want to know what they're saying. I'm not interested in what anyone else is saying, but I want to know what my own people are saying about me, you know.
Have you ever asked anyone for their autograph?
No, I haven't. I do have quite a few autographs of people that I'm fans of. I've got Damon Hill autograph. There's some authors that I'm big fans of that I got their autographs, but I never actually asked. The authors found out that I liked them, and they sent me books and they signed them, which is really cool. Just got one from Adrian Tchaikovsky, actually. I'm a big fan of him. There was a pilot, a World War II fighter pilot called Robert Stanford Tuck, who I'm a huge admirer of, and I had a chance to meet him at an air show once and get his autograph, and I was too scared, too intimidated by it. These are real heroes. You know, these are people that have really, really done something. Not what I do. What I do is just nonsense. But you know, I'm intimidated by people like that. You know, these are amazing people.
What is your most treasured possession?
My guitar. In terms of things I own, bought, not people. My guitar. My guitar was bought for me by my mum and dad when I was a teenager, and it's been on every record I've ever made, every tour I've ever done, and to me it's become it symbolises my entire career, so therefore my life in a way, and it's hugely important to me. And it's been broken many times and repaired. It's got all kinds of things in it that hold it together, but it still works, and I absolutely love it to bits.
Have you got any words of wisdom or advice that you would like to pass on to Mark Riley?
The only thing that was ever told to me that I really do think was brilliant advice, but I don't know that it relates to anybody else's, but I was told that I should learn how to lie. Really, at second or third interview I ever did, you know, back in when I was 78, 79, this man, because I'm brutally honest, and I can shoot myself in the foot sometimes by just being honest and owning up to stuff, and this man said to me, you really need to learn how to lie. And I've never been any good at it. I never did learn how to lie. So I'm not sure if that's good advice for Mark or not, but it was good advice for me that I've never been able to follow. And the only other thing, people ask me what advice I would give other people, but it normally relates to bands, new bands, and I've always said, don't listen to advice. And it sounds like you're being glib and silly, but I really believe that. You've got to find your own way and follow your own path, because you're going to be surrounded by people that think they know best and think they know what you should be doing, and they really don't. You know, do what you want. But again, that doesn't apply to Mark because he's already there.